Manchester United 2, Nottingham Forest 0, 5-0 on aggregate. Manchester United are going to Wembley. They're going to be facing Newcastle United in the Carabao Cup final. Mina, how are you feeling? You excited? How close are we to winning a trophy? How are you feeling?
I'm excited. It's like 90 minutes between us and a trophy, and it's been a long time since we won a trophy. And I'm haunted by that Europa League final. That's the last final that we were in. You know, it's reassuring that the last Carabao Cup final we were in, we did win, which actually I saw a stat that said, yeah, there's only 3 players remaining from that team 6 years ago. And that's De Gea, Martial, Rashford. 2 of them played a part in today's fixture. One of them has been on form the entire season. And I'm really hoping that, you know, this game would be the icing on top of what has been a good resurgence of Manchester United. I know it's still early in the season. We've still got a good three-ish months left. But the way that Erik Ten Hag has just rejuvenated and restructured this team, when we started the season, a lot of people didn't think, you know, we would even get to any cup final, regardless of. I know people think that this is a Mickey Mouse Cup, but a final is a final, regardless of what final it is. And the way that the season started out for us versus how it's playing out now, I'm really happy. Like I'm so happy, and just today's game is to see it out comfortably is reassuring. Ten Hag knew when to make the changes. He brought on 3 players at once. Really happy to see Jadon Sancho, obviously Anthony Martial back again, and Marcus Rashford. Marcus Rashford had 2 assists. Martial had a goal. And Sancho here and there was making influence. Bruno Fernandes, for me, was definitely the man of the match. I think he had a great performance on the right-hand side. And I feel like the team are growing, but you can see that they're growing together under the manager. And I think Ten Hag is a big part of that. I think he's a big part of that.
He is a big part of that and deserves a lot of credit. I mean, it was a strange game today because for the first 45, maybe longer than that, 50, 60 minutes, it was just a dry game, not a lot going on. It felt like a game where the opposition knew that they weren't going to get anything from it. But to your point, the substitutions are really what changed everything. And look, Martial, every time he plays, he's involved in a goal somehow, getting a goal or an assist. Again, Sancho came on. Sancho playing. Let's start on Sancho. He played as a 10 when he came on, and you've said to me before that Ten Hag likes to test things. Is this the beginning of actually Sancho could be that person that is not necessarily fighting with Bruno for a 10 position, but he could be involved in that position in the team?
Oh, definitely. And I think it's important to have alternative options to every position because we've seen what can happen if someone goes down with an injury. Bruno Fernandes plays game in, game out. And I think it's important to have an option for him if in the case we want to rest him or if in the case we need squad depth. Van der Beek is out. Ericsson, who may have been able to play there, out. So Jadon Sancho. And I do think maybe is a big part of his time away what he's been working on. I do think like position modification has probably been a part of it in terms of finding what's the best position for him and just working on that. I'm really and one thing that also helps is Bruno's performance on the right hand side today. The fact that he's played so well in that position. He was doing the things that Anthony does on the defensive end, but he was also having a lot of output on the offensive side of things. That outside of the foot pass, what a pass. And that pass to him came from Jadon Sancho. So it's just about finding that collaboration, that link up between Jadon Sancho and whoever's playing to the right of him, whoever's playing to the left of him, whoever's playing in front of him. What we've seen that with Martial and Rashford. We just haven't seen it much with Bruno, and we've seen it today. Obviously, yeah, Erik Ten Hag likes to trial things before he actually does it. We saw Luke Shaw play at centre back. Left centre back before we saw him play there for City. Obviously, we know Martinez is going to be out for the first leg of Barcelona, so I can imagine that Luke Shaw will play there because Ten Hag has done it before. Today, we've seen Lindelof playing at CDM. He came on at CDM, which I think he has played there before. I think he's played there before in his career. I might be wrong, but I feel like he has played there before.
For Benfica, maybe something like that.
Before he joined us, yeah.
Yeah.
I feel before he joined us, I think he's played there. So I feel like Ten Hag is just trying out different stuff just to provide that extra depth to different positions where we might be a little bit lighter.
Are we starting to see that then coming out of this game? I mean, because you look at the substitutions that he made. I mean, you start the game with Anthony, Weghorst, Garnacho. You bring on Martial, Rashford, Sancho. You've got Facundo Palestri on the bench as well. You could bring on. You've got Anthony Alanga, who wasn't even involved in the squad. Are we actually starting to see them in those attacking positions that we have got some strength in depth? We have got options off the bench that maybe earlier on this season weren't looking as promising or as developed at the time.
Yeah, definitely. I think like in a game where like Rashford would have been starting, Garnacho would have been that alternative off the bench. Now it's nice that we've got Jadon Sancho back, because that's another alternative that we have. Having Weghorst over Martial or Martial over Weghorst, it's good that we've got alternative options to everybody. I think the important thing is to find quality in that depth. And I think Ten Hag is trying to figure that out in terms of who can come off the bench and make an impact. A game like today, honestly, I think Ten Hag put that team out because he knew that we just needed to not concede, which is why we had a strong back four. Varane and Martinez were playing. I feel like the substitutions were more so to just get some minutes in their legs. Jadon Sancho, of course, Martial and Rashford to just continue that confidence and that form that he's playing in. Garnacho, I think, played well today. I think in the first half, in what was quite a dull first half, I think he was our consistent threat and he was trying to do something every single time, even though he was getting a lot of knockbacks from the opposition. And I do think he will continue to grow into that role, that opportunity that he has on the left-hand side. Of course, Marcus Rashford is in form, so you'd anticipate that he would start all the time. But it was nice to see Garnacho starting. I actually think it was nice in a game like this. It was nice to see him starting. Obviously, it was also nice to see Jadon Sancho coming back to a great applause at Old Trafford. It was great to see Casemiro doing what Casemiro does best. Could have had an assist, could have had a goal. Could have had an assist,
he's just world class. He's world class, isn't he? That's what Casemiro is at this point. Like, is he legitimately? Let's be serious here. Is he legitimately in that conversation of right now best midfielders in the world in terms of what they're offering to the team and what they're contributing? He's got to be right up there, has he not?
Yeah, definitely. And the value that I think, like in basketball terms, when you call someone an MVP, it's about the value that they add to their team and the change, like how important they are to their team and how they're winning and whatnot. And I think Casemiro is a big part of that. I feel like a lot of scrutiny that he gets is because he's playing at Manchester United. I feel like when you play at Manchester United, people watch you a lot more. You are under the spotlight a lot more. But he was doing all of this and then more at Real Madrid. He does this for Brazil. It's just that at Real Madrid, he was partnered with Modric and Cruz. Just now, he's playing in a double instead of a free midfield. And he's playing with someone who's not as world-class as Cruz and Modric. And that's fine. That's why Casemiro looks like the world-class player out of everyone. That does not downplay his ability, does not downplay what value he adds to the team. And when he's not there, you see how much we miss him. You can measure someone's valuation based on what their absence makes or what their absence creates. And his absence creates uncertainty for fans. It creates uncertainty in that middle line between the midfield and the defense. And when he's not there, we miss him so much. So he's one of the most important players at Manchester United this season, easily. And he's been a big part of this resurgence. Because to be honest, if he was there the first two opening games of the season, it might not have gone the way that it did. Because ever since he's come into that lineup, it's been completely different.
Finally, then, we're in the final. We're going to Wembley. Mina, are we going to win the Carabao Cup?
It ain't going to be easy. Newcastle's not going to be an easy fixture, but we're Manchester United. We're Manchester United. We have to believe, and we've got the team to do it. We've got the squad to do it. We've got the manager that can take us there. And what a story it will be for that manager and for these players coming off of last season to get to a Carabao Cup final and to win it. I think we'll win it. I don't think it'll be an easy game at Wembley, but I do think it's going to be a good one, and I think we'll win.
There you go. Mystic Mina with the prediction. She says that we're going to win it. Manchester United 2, Nottingham Forest 0.